Welcome back to the Edge Library. Okay, are you an aspiring entrepreneur staring down a brand new venture? Or maybe you're an exhausted business owner, working totally endless hours, missing family dinners, and just trying to keep your head above water? Well, listen, you are absolutely not alone. Today in this explainer, we're diving straight into Michael E. Gerber's classic, The E-Myth Revisited, and we're going to break down exactly how you can step out of that daily grind for good. We're really trying to answer one massive question here. Why do most small businesses just fail to work? And more importantly, what are the concrete, actionable steps you can actually take to fix them? Because honestly, it's not just about trying harder or putting in another 80-hour week. No way. It's about fundamentally changing how you view your entire business, literally from the ground up.
So here's our roadmap to getting you there. We're going to cover 1. The entrepreneurial seizure. 2. The 3 personalities at war. 3. Working on, not in. 4. The franchise prototype. And 5. The business development process. Let's get into it.
Part 1. The entrepreneurial seizure. You know, at the very start of almost every small business, there's this massive core misunderstanding that Gerber calls the fatal assumption. Think about it like this. Imagine an incredibly talented hairdresser. She is absolutely phenomenal at her craft, beloved by all her clients, booked out for months. And then one day, she decides she's just totally tired of working for a salon owner and taking home a tiny fraction of what she actually earns. So what does she do? She opens her own beauty salon. Well, that sudden impulsive urge for independence, that right there is what we call the entrepreneurial seizure. And unfortunately, it leads straight into the fatal assumption. This is the completely false belief that just because you know how to do the technical work, like cutting and styling hair, you're somehow magically equipped to run a business that does that technical work.
And man, this seizure inevitably leads to a pretty dark place. It always starts with such exhilaration and hope, right? You're finally free. You're your own boss. But that freedom rapidly shifts into terror and then quickly progresses to just total, complete exhaustion. Think back to our hairdresser. Suddenly, cutting hair, the one thing she actually loved doing, is just this tiny task squeezed between a massive pile of completely unfamiliar chores. I mean, she's figuring out payroll, she's scrambling to do local marketing, she's trying to hire receptionists, and dealing with broken plumbing on a Tuesday morning. The business she created to set herself free just becomes an enslaving job that demands her attention 24/7.
Number 2. 3 personalities at war.
So this exhaustion isn't just about having way too many tasks. It's actually driven by this fierce internal psychological battle. See, every single business owner actually has 3 totally distinct personalities living inside their head. First up, we have the entrepreneur. This is the visionary who lives entirely in the future, always dreaming up new opportunities and driving growth. Next is the manager. This is the ultimate pragmatist who kind of lives in the past, right? They're constantly craving order, organization, and systems to keep everything nice and predictable. And finally, we have the technician. This is the resolute doer who lives purely in the present, focusing entirely on just getting the technical work done right now. Now here's the catch. Each of these personalities wants to be the boss, but absolutely none of them wants to have a boss, and that puts them in a constant, exhausting tug of war.
Now, in a perfect world, these 3 roles would be totally balanced, perfect harmony. But in reality, the typical small business owner mindset is incredibly lopsided. We're talking 70% technician, 20% manager, and a tiny 10% entrepreneur. The technician just completely dominates the show, and this is exactly what keeps you trapped in that present, day-to-day grind of just doing the work. You end up completely starving that visionary entrepreneur who desperately needs time and space to step back and actually plan for the future.
Which brings us to 3. Working on, not in. I really want you to let this powerful truth from Michael Gerber sink in for a second. He says, if your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job. And it's the worst job in the world. Ouch, right? But it's true. If you are the ultimate bottleneck, like if literally nothing happens unless you physically do it or sign off on it or oversee it, then your business is fundamentally broken. You haven't really built a growing enterprise. You've kind of just built a prison for yourself.
So, how do we break out of that prison? Well, you have to completely shift your perspective. Working in your business, that's the technician's perspective. It focuses entirely on what work has to be done today to produce income. You know, baking the pies, coding the software, cutting the hair. But working on your business, that is the entrepreneur's perspective. This is where you view the business itself as an integrated system, like a finely tuned machine that's designed to produce outside results and profit. The really profound shift here is realizing that your entire business is the actual products you're building, not just the daily service you provide to your customers. It's a total game changer.
Let's look at number 4, the franchise prototype.
The real structural solution here lies in what Gerber calls the turnkey revolution. Basically, you have to build your business as if it were a franchise model. Now hold on, this doesn't mean you actually have to go out and sell franchises like a fast food chain, not at all. What it means is that you must build your business so that it could be franchised. You've got to create these predictable, heavily documented systems that can run the daily operations totally independently, rather than relying on your constant, everyday input or, your own unique, irreplaceable genius.
See, a truly systems-dependent business relies on rock-solid systems, not on trying to hire extraordinary or irreplaceable people. It's designed so flawlessly that you could replicate it 5,000 times, and that 5,000th unit would run exactly as smoothly as the very first one. It creates a place of just impeccable order and guarantees predictable, consistent results for your customers every single time. And hey, as a quick side note, lenders and investors absolutely love this. A highly systematized, documented operation represents a much lower risk, which makes your business vastly more fundable.
All right, number 5, the business development process. So to keep this new franchise prototype of yours young and thriving, you need to engage in a continuous 3-step cycle. Step 1 is innovation. This is all about finding a new, better way to solve a problem. Maybe that means developing a brand new, highly welcoming script for greeting your customers. Step 2 is quantification. This means precisely measuring the impact of that new innovation. Like, did that new script actually increase your upsells by 5%? We need the data. And then step 3 is orchestration. Once you've proven it works, you completely eliminate the guesswork by making that successful innovation a strict, consistent standard across your entire operation. You're basically ensuring that every single employee does it exactly that way every single time.
I want to leave you with one deeply provocative question today. How can I get my business to work, but without me? Seriously, take a step back and look at your company objectively right now through your brand new eMyth eyes. What systems do you actually need to sit down, document, and build today so that you can be truly free tomorrow?
And that really is the ultimate core of the eMyth Revisited. By recognizing that initial entrepreneurial seizure, acknowledging the crazy internal conflict of your 3 personalities, making that crucial mental shift to work on your business instead of in it, and actively building a systems-dependent franchise prototype, well, you can completely transform an exhausting, draining job into a self-sustaining, highly valuable enterprise.
If you found this explainer valuable, make sure you take the next step. Hit that subscribe button for the Edge Library channel, and definitely turn on notifications so you catch all our future actionable book summaries. But before you click away, ask yourself one final question. Are you building a true business today, or are you just showing up to your own prison? The choice is totally yours. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.